This video really is about understanding what human resource management is and what HR people do. Hi, greetings, it's me, Dr. Paul Gerhardt, and this is the first video in our Human Resource Management lecture series. Well, it's my goal to help you understand what human resources does and help you stay up to date on current trends with human resources. As you probably know, I've been teaching management and human relations and human resources and leadership and all sorts of management type classes since 2001 at both the undergraduate and master's and doctoral levels, and I'm excited to present this series to you and help you know as much as you can so that you can make a positive difference in your organization. So stay tuned. This video really is about understanding what human resource management is and what HR people do. So human resource managers wear a lot of different hats, and different sized organizations have different people doing different things. In some smaller organizations, they may not have a human resource department. Maybe that's your organization. Maybe as you grow, you want to consider bringing in trained human resource professionals, because ideally they can help you make your organization grow, because their main goal is to really align people and systems in your organization so that you can maximize what people have to offer. So the human resource managers take a strategic approach to acquiring, developing, managing, motivating, and gaining commitment of the organization's key resources, their people. And so really being able to take a look at what they do from a managerial perspective and an operative perspective. So let's talk a little bit about what the management part of it looks like. Well, essentially, it really is about planning, organizing, directing, and controlling. That's what managers do. So let's talk about each of those. Planning. Planning really is about understanding what your employees do and how many employees need to do those functions in order to accomplish organizational goals. They're about really understanding what those goals look like, and very often human resource managers do the planning process to help managers collect, analyze, and identify their current and future needs of the organization. So planning. You probably do planning in your own career. Can you imagine doing that for an organization? So if you're a manager, that really is important. You know, you can do the daily functions, but if you're not constantly planning, you may not be able to know where you're going. One of my favorite sayings comes from Alice in Wonderland. Alice came to a fork in the road, and she looked at the Cheshire Cat and she says, well, which direction should we go? And the Cheshire Cat says, well, that depends. Where do you want to go? And she says, I don't know. And he says, well, it really doesn't matter which road you take then. So if we want to be successful, we have to have a very clear idea of what success looks like and then plan accordingly. And so human resource managers can help you plan things out. So if you are in the HR field or want to be in the HR field, develop your planning skills. Secondly, as a managerial function, they organize. You know, they're making sure that people understand which task is a priority. So everything is related to time. So some things can be done later on, and some things need to be done in the more immediate time. So it really is important that every person has their skills properly utilized and make sure the right activities are being done at the right time with the right people. So sometimes organizations have project managers that help make that happen. But organizing skills are very important for people in the human resource industry. Number 3, directing. This includes activating employees at all different levels of the organization, then helping them contribute towards maximizing accomplishment of those organizational goals. Now, so it really, as a director, it's about learning how to tap into people's potential and motivate them and help them see how what they do makes a big difference. So if you are a leader, always help people understand how what they're doing fits into the bigger picture, and that's what the director does. So as HR employees, we need to help managers recognize that no team is as strong as they could be unless the manager, the leader, is helping people understand what is expected of them and then inspires them by giving them clarity and the right directions and the right resources to move forward. So directing is number 3. And finally, number 4, controlling. This really happens after the planning process and the organizing and the directing goes in. You know, it really is about helping employees know when they're doing the right thing and they're accomplishing goals. So there's some verifying and comparing with what are you doing versus what are you actually accomplishing. So being able to make sure that employees are controlled properly, I know it's a strong word, but are given the right information at the right time to be able to accomplish that information, and then being able to fix things if they're not working right. So that's the directing phase. Let's talk about the operative functions now a little bit. So these are the things you usually hear about HR people. I know that when I think about HR people, I think about times when I've gotten hired or gotten interviewed. Well, obviously that's part of it. So recruiting and hiring are two of the key terms, and we're going to be talking about more of that in our course. But those are some of the key functions of what HR people do. So hiring really is about, a process, and it's about making sure that you have the right pool of prospective candidates that can help the organization accomplish their goals. So we'll talk a little bit more about what that looks like, but ideally, if you hire the right person, this is a person that could grow with your organization, make the organization stronger. They also do job analysis and job design. So that's really all about describing the nature of the qualifications for getting jobs done. It's about understanding the right skill and experience, and it's about the position in itself. What is really needed to make sure that employees feel successful because they know what it takes to be successful. And so really having clear job descriptions, for example, really helps, and having the right people with the right experience that can be built upon as they continue to work for your organization. So job analysis and job design. We'll talk about this later in this series. Performance appraisals are a big one. I think this is one area that is abused by many managers. You have to take time to do a performance appraisal, and it really is about aligning what the expectations are with what the employee does. And I think a good manager doesn't beat an employee up during a performance appraisal time. They help the employee meet the organizational goals all along the way so that they feel successful. Well, we'll talk about that later. Number 4, training and development. This is my area that I love. Most organizations need to train employees how to do their job and then continually develop them so that future tasks can be done successfully. So employees constantly need to be developed once you hire them, and make sure they're trained properly once you bring them on so that they can continue to grow successfully with the organization. Salary administration is another one. Salary includes not only the pay, but incentives and benefits and bonuses if you have them. And so good HR managers are the ones that really help make sure all of those seem fair, people are compensated properly, and you've got the right people in the right places feeling like they're continuing to grow and it's worth their while, right? Related to that is employee welfare. it really is wise for human resource managers to make sure that services, benefits, and facilities are in place to make sure the employees are being taken care of properly. And along with that is maintenance, minimizing employee turnover, sustaining the best employee performance. These are the things that help keep your organization stay competitive. So smart managers are always doing things to make sure that things are properly measured and expectations are in place so that you're maximizing your return of investment of hiring that employee. You shouldn't hire an employee to get rid of them later. So you got to have proper maintenance along the way. Smart human resource managers help managers maintain their employees. It's one of the biggest costs in doing business is losing an employee. So, and you can control that cost, as we'll talk about later. Labor relations is another one. Many organizations in Washington State, we have about 40% of all employees belong to a union. Well, smart organizational leaders know that if you take care of your employees and you work with your unions, you can keep your organization strong. So being fair, really listening to what the unions have to say, and helping maintain those relationships with employees according to the contracts and making sure they're updated is another function of human resource managers. Personal research. This is one that you don't hear about very often, but it really is about being able to make sure that each employee feels good about how much they're making, about they're feeling like they're on a track to be promoted, that working conditions are good, welfare activities, leadership, employee satisfaction, other things. So really being able to keep the organization strong by doing the right thing at the right times. These are things that really good human resource managers should be doing all the time. And then finally, of course, keeping track of personal records. And that really is about maintaining and retrieving employee-related information, including employment history, work hours, and earnings. So that in a nutshell is what human resource managers do. They've got planning, organizing, directing, and controlling. And of course, they're doing the hiring, recruiting, job design, performance analysis, salary, training and development, labor relations, personal relationships, and personal management records. All those great things. So anyway, I've given you a lot of things to think about. I hope you've enjoyed this video and you continue to come back for updates on a weekly basis. Thanks so much for your valuable time. I hope you have a great day, because only you get to choose how you feel about it. I'm Dr. Paul Gerhardt.